Good day, everybody. My name is Thor Jensen. I'm a musician that lives in London, guitarist, singer, songwriter, hired gun, original artist, all the things that you have to do, or the things I have to do to make a living, to pay rent. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. I'm about to go on tour with Postmodern Jukebox. I tour with them on this side of the Atlantic. We're about to do a tour that's 2 months, between 45 and 50 shows. I don't remember how many exactly. Ireland, UK, Europe, into Scandinavia. And I'm getting all my stuff together. My board, my guitars. It's almost complete. I'm missing one piece of gear that I'll have in the next few days, which I'll do another video to talk about. In a previous video, I talked about how I used an HX Stomp previously as my DI, my amp sim and stuff, and I'm done away with that. So I have another thing that's coming in that's going to handle the electric side of things. So right now, though, I've got a cool board going on here, which, well, first of all, I'm playing this beautiful Heritage guitar. It's a custom core H535, and this is actually on long-term loan from Heritage. They were kind enough to let me use this for as long as I'm playing it, as long as I'm playing it on stage and on gigs and sessions and all that stuff. And it's fantastic. They've used it for a loaner for a while. It's clearly done some partying. It's been used a lot. So had to do a couple of things. Had to dress the frets and just get it tuned up. But it's really great. The pickups are fantastic. It's a nice feeling neck. It's not too heavy. It's not as light as some other guitars I have, but it'll do just fine. And it's just that's the neck pickup. Bridge pickup I kind of tend to leave rolled back a little bit. It's a great guitar. I've really been enjoying playing it. The pickups are just super clear and really, really sweet sounding. Especially as you go higher up the neck, it just kind of gets sweeter. I don't really understand that. That's new to me. So, and a color that I'll be honest with you, on paper, I wasn't that into. But the longer I've had it, the more into it I am. I've had this in my hands for a few months now, so excited to get it on the road. And it covers a lot of territory, so I can like do that whole thing. I can chomp. It's pretty awesome. And then I am running into this board that I'm gonna lift up. The intro is me just kind of going through, I think I played every pedal except one. This button keeps popping open. But I'll show you what I got. Let me mute the amp for a second so we don't get any nasty buzzing sounds. But this is what I am using. It's not too dissimilar from I showed my board off in another video I did. Let me put this down. This will be easier. But basically I have this box up top. That's my input and my out to the amp. And I can also insert a volume pedal right there, which will go between the drives and the spacey stuff. But it's hitting this fuzz first, which is made by Love of Fuzz in Troy, New York. My good buddy TJ made this for me. He also made the amps that I'm playing. He's a whiz. He's an absolute whiz. And, you know, sounds good is good. That's the Troy motto. I wish there was a slogan for Troy, because I love Troy, New York. Love of Fuzz, Collar City Guitars, Peter, just great shops. Really good friends as well. And yeah, if you're up in upstate New York, go to Love of Fuzz and Collar City Guitars. But I hit that, and then I go into my tuner, and then let's see. Or wait, no, am I coming out of the tuner first? Yeah, I'm coming out of the tuner first. Tuner, fuzz, Mad Professor, Royal Blue Overdrive. I got this thing on a tour a few years ago just because I was sick of the drive pedal I had. I just wanted something different. And it kind of does everything. As far as like a flat EQ goes, I don't like a lot of, I don't dislike things like tube screamers, but I prefer something like that. Has a bass and treble, so you can kind of make it sound like anything. The MXR Timmy. I've had a Paul Cochran Timmy, and I like this better. It's extremely flexible. This is the second one I've had. I'm not even sure why I got rid of the first one. I think it was another situation of wanting to try something different and wanting to trade instead of spending dollars. So then it goes from the Timmy back into the box out to El Capistan, which is I'm not a big delay person, but I am a big El Capistan person. I love this thing. And every time I've done a PMJ tour, I've not brought it, and I've regretted it every time, just because it's nice to, there's not a lot of bits. In fact, I don't think there's any relevant bits I could think of that the word delay is called for, but it's nice to add a little bit of air and spaciness to some sections sometimes. And then the Keeley Hydra, my DI solution that I have coming in, I don't want to give it away, has reverb and trem, but I've been using reverb and trem pedals for a long time. Over the years, I've only had actually a handful of amps that have had reverb, so I've always relied on a pedal, and I've gotten very used to it. And it's also just safe to have in case the reverb goes out on that unit. Guess what? I got it right here. So Heritage guitar goes into this. This goes into the mysterious amp thing that I don't have yet, that I'll have in a few days. And then that goes out to front of house. And I also have, I'll have a Boss Katana Artist, I think the 50 or 100 watt version as a backup. Because we all run ears for that, in-ear monitors. And there's a lot of singers on the tour. And so I could use an amplifier. I could go just straight out to an amp that's mic'd up, go to the ears. But I want to be a team player as much as possible. You know what I mean? And we have a really great front of house engineer who can really dial it all in. And so if I'm on an amp, then there's potential for my amp to bleed into the microphones on stage. And I just don't want that to be an issue. I want that microphone to just pick up that singer. It's going to pick up some drums. It's going to pick up some horns. But horns, you can't do anything. You can't make a silent horn, unless you play an Iwi, but that's bullshit. Unless you're doing an Iwi thing, and then that's fucking cool. So it's just a team player thing. And so if I am not going to be using an amp, and I could use wedges if I want to as well. I can have a wedge in front of myself instead of the ears. But there's a few moments in the show where I go towards the front of the stage, and if I'm on a wedge, and I'm the only one on a wedge, when I go to the front, I can't hear myself because there's no wedges out there. So I use ears, I go direct. Would I rather just plug into an amplifier and turn it up? Of course, but different things are required for different shows and different circumstances. And again, I want to be a team player. The other guitar I'm bringing on the road is my absolute favorite guitar that I've ever had in my life. I use it for the least amount of things, but if I could only choose to keep one guitar, it would be this guitar. This is a 1964 Guild T100 Slim Jim. This is a Franz pickup, which Guild used for a long time. It's not a P90. It's not a DeArmond pickup, it's a Franz pickup. The cover, I've never had. I got it like that. I had it refret by Dave Johnson in Nashville. Scale model guitars. Guy's a whiz. And it's got a nice beefy neck on it. Nothing too big, but like you can grab onto it. And even acoustically, and in the past I've used different things, because with the show I have to play electric guitar and I have to play a lot of the recordings for PMJ either have like a tenor banjo or a gypsy guitar. And the first tour I brought my gypsy guitar out, but it's a difficult thing to amplify the right way. And I spent almost a decade playing that guitar exclusively through systems, and I've always hated it. And it feels like I don't know, it just feels wrong to put such an exquisite acoustic instrument through a terrible sounding pickup. Unless you're using a magnetic pickup through a tube amp, that's a whole different thing. But then if I did that, that changes the whole vibe. And then I have this cool, I picked this up a couple years ago. This is, I think it's a 66 Epiphone Granada that someone had. These originally came with single coil pickups, and someone took the pickup out and put in a undersaddle, a piezo, and it sounds fine, and it did the trick. But there were some times where, you know, it's difficult to, no matter what you're EQing, no matter what kind of preamp or EQ, you can have difficulties with stuff. I've got too many guitars and not enough stands, man. So there were times during the show that I had difficulty with that. My whole plan with this tour is to just be able to put as many good sounds at the start of the chain, starting with my hands, into the system as possible that we can then manipulate. Yes, this has got a magnetic pickup, but I've already done a bunch of testing. I'm using, stand by, the way I'm giving it to front of house is with this, the Grace Design Alex, which is made for acoustic instruments, but it has a really, really powerful EQ, parametric mid-range control, high-pass filter, and a really awesome DI. So it's pretty foolproof. It's pretty wonderful. So I can take this and make it sound a lot like an acoustic, basically. And I'll also include in the signal chain for that the old trusty dusty Boss EQ, GE7. And so between those two things, I can make this guitar sound like whatever I want. And I thoroughly enjoy playing this guitar. I love every moment with it. And that, I think, is a crucial part to your sound. If you're thinking about how you sound when you're playing a gig or playing with a band, you're never playing music. That's just how it goes. If you are the entire time, if your hands are fighting your ears, you know what I mean? If you're always in constant argument, then you can't put 100% of you into the music you're playing. And are there more appropriate instruments than this to cover this job? Absolutely. Do I have them? No. So I could spend my money buying a different instrument. Ironically, I do have an appropriate instrument in the States, but I am in London. But I know that I'm going to be happy with this in my hands. And if I'm happy with this in my hands, then I get to just play music. And if I put all my energy into playing music, then I'm bringing 100% of myself to the table all the time, which I try to anyway, but this eliminates some of those risk factors. And really, when we're playing music, we do our best to put 100% of ourselves in all the time. If I'm not thinking about this, then I can listen to the bass that's next to me, and I can listen to what the horns are doing over there. I can really pay attention to the dynamics of the singers, and I could really make sure and pay attention to what voicings the piano is doing, so on and so forth. I can really put myself in there. So that's why I'm playing what I'm playing. I'm gonna follow up next week when I get my last piece of the puzzle. I'm really excited about it. It's pretty sick. It's gonna be great. I'm 100% excited. And but that's about it for now. Thanks everyone for who's been watching and commenting and subscribing, all that stuff. If you feel like it, give a thumbs up, subscribe. If not, move along. See you next time. Until then, have a good meal, have a good day. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm gonna try to get some more sun, and I'll catch you next time.